At the forest camp, they were taught that their fighting isn't just some sport that follows the rules. Their age, gender, and how much they weighed didn't matter. If they could use tools the right way, they could take down opponents much stronger than themselves. When they initiated combat, they were thought to not think at all. They should just move by instinct and go for the kill with every chance they got. If they did that, they could kill their opponent with ease. To achieve this, they trained constantly without rest. Even when they were eating, they were assaulted, even when eating or sleeping, as they must be ready for anything, anywhere, at any time. Viper smiles, as she was the only one who took all of these lessons by heart. That is why he is very glad to be hunting her right now. Alice knew that he was crazy, but this is taking the cake. He's just mad. Viper explains that to not go mad in a world like this is insanity. Sooner or later it will change her, she will see. Alice has had enough of his yapping and rushes in with a knife attack, which is deflected, so she goes for a punch, which Viper catches and allows him to go for a knife strike. But she clashes blades with him and moves to punch him in the stomach, but Viper is quicker and manages to cut her. He notes that struggling like this is a useless endeavor. No matter how much she struggles, she will never be able to escape his grasp. He formed all of her moves. Even the habits she has were made by him. Alice strikes him and notes that he's attacking and talking when her vision isn't even fully back. But Viper notes that one does not need to catch a beast with bare hands. He uses her current blind spot to punch her straight in the face, making her fall to the ground. He slowly approaches and admits that her skills have improved a lot while he wasn't next to her. But unfortunately, this is how her life ends. Alice is surprised that he is still acting high and mighty after all these years. He talks a lot too, but he wouldn't be so confident if she were to fight him at full strength, right? In these years, he has become quite the chatty old geezer. Before he can shoot even one bullet, a flurry of bullets appears and forces him to retreat. This allows Alice to make a move, and Viper tries to stop her, but he is too out of position and cannot hit her before she leaves, as the mysterious figure keeps him pinned down. He didn't expect Alice to have a partner. He thought that she was like in the past, and rode solo. The person who helped her is none other than Ijin, who notices Alice has made her escape, so he puts the gun he used down and disappears out of sight. Alice eventually arrives at her safe house and crashes down as soon as she enters the door. She definitely didn't expect Viper to be their hunting dog, but who was the person who rescued her anyway? It doesn't really matter though. What's more important is that Viper is now after her, and given time, he will surely figure out where she lives and where Andrew is. More importantly, she must get out of here quickly and move Andrew to another spot or find another way. She suddenly remembers that Viper sent out his underlings to tail that kid, and if he's somehow related to this incident because of her, things could get dangerous. She smashes her fist in the wall and pulls out a phone, gripping it tightly as she does so. While driving away, Ijin is told by 006 that Forest has released some of their hunters. They are those responsible for catching betrayers and such, and now their target is Alice. Ijin tells him about the clash he helped Alice out of, and 006 says that if they really found her, they must be dead already, since that woman doesn't leave anyone out to harm her alive. Ijin tells him that Alice actually lost the fight and had to flee. Even if they were similar in skill, her opponent seamlessly read all of her attacks without issue. At the numbered camp, 002 tells everyone that Elise asked for a favor, to protect her younger sibling. 004 doesn't get why she doesn't go and protect them herself. Even if she is quite annoying, she is plenty capable. 002 explains that according to her, she wants them to protect the kid she knew from SW. This takes a while for them to understand, and one of them asks if the kid she's talking about isn't 001. 002 notes that this is what he gathered too, which makes the atmosphere even more confusing. 004 tries to get the gist of it. Alice wants to protect 001 in order to protect her younger sibling, right? 002 confirms that it's so, and 004 doesn't get what's going on, leaving the atmosphere even more dim. Eventually this news gets to Ijin because of 006, who tells him that she asked them to protect him. But does he know why she did that instead of telling them to protect her brother? It's because she wants to keep him out of danger, which is seriously funny, but Ijin doesn't find it that amusing. 006 also notes that she's trying to protect him because he got swept up in this mess because of her. It seems like she grew fond of him while she was at SW. Ijin says that this is probably not the only reason, as now that she has found her pursuer, she will probably try to fight back at least, since it's much easier to catch the one chasing her than to be chased around constantly. That same night, Alice goes to the same depot geared up for war, but everything and everyone is gone, something she also did with her place. She wonders if they left the country thinking she would do the same, but that's not it, as Viper would know that she would rather fight back than run away. They probably relocated somewhere nearby, meaning she has to be careful from now on. The next day, after Ijin finishes his daily training, Alice watches him from an apartment, as she knows that Viper must be watching that kid, but she can't seem to spot him anywhere. even though this area is so open. Nearby, a black car stands on the road, and Viper rolls the window down, thinking that in these past few days, all of his men that were tasked with watching this kid were taken care of, and then Alice appeared too. It might be a coincidence, but if it's not that, perhaps she is still waiting for them to make a move. If it's her they are talking about, she would have anticipated their actions and made a move, and his gut feeling is telling him that Alice is somehow connected to this guy. She is most definitely watching over him, from somewhere. If she doesn't come out herself, he will make sure she gets out. As soon as he steps out of the car, Alice notices him and goes into full alert mode, ready to protect Ijin at all costs. While walking away, 032 tells Ijin that they found out who the hunter is. He has the codename Viper, and he used to be a mercenary before, but he ended up becoming an assassin shortly after. Perhaps because assassination was a better fit for him, he is way more famous as an assassin. Suddenly, he stopped all official activities and disappeared off the grid, but it turns out he was just in charge of training Forrest. Ijin knew there was something off about him, as he read Alice's attacks too well. 032 confirms that in all likelihood, he was the one who taught Alice, and according to some information, he raised assassins under his wing for a pretty long time. Now, he is Forrest's hunting dog, and takes care of any traitors or problematic individuals. 006 finds both Forrest and Viper quite loathsome, and tells Ijin that whatever the case, he is still chasing him, and probably keeping an eye on him as they speak. He would like him to teach that bastard a lesson, the fact that the numbered are not prey, but the hunters. Viper continues to tail Ijin, and wonders when Alice will appear, since he knows that he is watching over this kid and all. Suddenly, Ijin increases his speed, something that Viper notices, and wonders if he noticed that he's tailing him. Ijin turns a corner swiftly, confirming that he knows about Viper, who rushes after him, and sees him running away to a construction site. Viper smiles, as his movements are sloppy and he is clumsy, just like a kid should be. But since he is also fast, he will enjoy this hunt until the end. He continues running after him as he climbs the steps of the construction site, until Ijin eventually stops and they meet. Viper tells him that what he did was clumsy, though it's commendable that he actually noticed that someone was tailing him, but he should not run away so fast and let the person tailing him see what he is doing. Choosing this place to hide is also a blunder, as he should have moved to a place with more people, not a building that is under construction, which is empty and very hearable. Ijin turns around slowly as Viper continues. Since keeping hidden is hard, escaping is also out of the question, though he probably couldn't have done better, since he is an amateur. As soon as he pulls out the gun and aims it at him, Ijin swiftly rushes to Viper, who barely manages to graze him before Ijin pulls out a knife and starts slashing him everywhere. Viper notices that there's no hesitation behind these moves, and they are all fatal. He tries to backstep and shoot again, but Ijin ducks and goes straight for his chin. Viper saves himself by positioning his gun in front of the blade, but as they look at each other, he understands that he wasn't running away. He was just luring him here. After staring at each other for a while, they break out of their stalemate and start to attack each other. Ijin gains the upper hand and snaps at Viper, who dodges, allowing him to shoot, but Ijin swiftly takes this advantage down by pushing his arm away and going for his neck again. Viper can't believe how this kid moves. He launches all of his body into the attacks, making it hard for him to aim and shoot properly. But if he ignores this, he will suffer deep consequences. He tries to shoot again, but Ijin knocks his hand away again, making it impossible to shoot. After a few more bullets, Viper runs out of bullets, allowing Ijin to cut his abdomen and move away. Viper starts huffing from the injuries, but Ijin gives him no respite as he charges in again. Seeing that he has no other choice, Viper throws his gun away and prepares for a proper knife fight. They both move in and cut each other, before starting to clash blades again and again, but Viper can barely keep up, as his opponent is showing skills that can only be obtained from countless combat encounters. Everything about him, including attack and defense, is nearly perfect. Just how is something like this possible with someone so young? As Ijin moves in again, Viper only knows one place that trains children so well. They clash blades once again, and Viper notes that he must be from the camp. Ijin just stares at him, but Viper suddenly kicks him away and says that he is definitely from that camp. He prides himself on knowing the camp better than most, because in the forest, they put a lot of effort into raising assassins that will surpass the camp's numbered. He did his research regarding the camp with the information he had available, especially about the numbered. They start circling each other, as Viper notes that for someone like him, who has perfected the art of battle at a young age, he can only think of the numbered. There is a guy in their ranks who is especially keen on knives, 004, right? However, he knows that he's not 004, as he has a different vibe to him altogether. Just who is he? He isn't one of the numbered he knows of, but even if that's true, it doesn't matter anymore. He will hunt him, and the remaining numbered down. He will eventually figure out who he is, even if it's after he dies. He moves in to cut Ijin, who dodges easily and cuts his arm, allowing him to go for another deadly attack to the face that only grazes Viper. He tries to retaliate, but Ijin is giving it his all, and his blood splatters all over the place because of his injuries. Before he can finish the job and be done with him, Viper pulls out another gun and starts shooting at Ijin, forcing him to get away and find cover. Viper uses this opportunity to get out of this place, as even if his pride is hurt, he realizes that he cannot win a 1v1 against that monster. Since he is so good at fighting, this guy must be 002, the leader of the numbered, but that also can't be, as 002 is not a kid. When he gets out of the construction site and starts galloping away, he finally realizes that this kid might be 001, who was apparently taken care of a long time ago. Before he can think of anything else, he notices someone pointing a gun at him, that someone being Alice, who says that this is the end. Viper turns around to her, who says that he doesn't look great. He finally understands what is going on. She joins hands with the numbered. Alice doesn't mind him knowing about that, as Forrest did the same to get rid of her in the past. He tries to shoot her swiftly, but she is already aiming and shoots his shoulder away. Alice tells him goodbye, but Viper then announces that if she kills him, her brother will die too. They have already located the hospital he's staying at, and his underlings are all nearby, waiting patiently. Alice's phone rings, and when she answers 002, says that every assassin sent here for her brother has been dealt with, and he will be transported to a safe location. Alice thanks him and says that she will buy him a drink, but 002 refuses, as payment is enough for him. She starts aiming the gun squarely at Viper, who has become manic, and says that her brother will die, as his underlings are all people he raised with his own 2 fists. Alice tells him that they are already taken care of, and shoots him in the forehead, making his lifeless corpse fall to the ground. Alice sighs and breathes in, as she has finally rid herself of this ghost from the past. She looks up at the building, and as she walks away, she says that she doesn't know who he is, but since he helped, she will make sure to pay him back. Ijin just stares at her. Back at the forest camp, the leader is told that the hunting dogs sent after Alice were all dealt with. He is surprised by this, and asks about Viper's status. The soldier notes that they cannot get in touch with him, and he is presumed to be dead too. Alice did not do this alone, as she has people cooperating with her. The leader smashes the table, and asks who would dare to aid her and make an enemy out of them. Who is that foolish? The soldier tells him that it's most likely the numbered, which makes the leader shake, as he doesn't know what to do anymore. He tells the soldier to tell everyone that from now on, they are taking their hands off Alice and releasing the bounty. Later, Ijin gets a phone call from 006, who says that they are done here too, and Alice has paid them more than she initially said, because it seems that she thinks someone from their camp helped her take care of Viper. 005 notes that 002 also took it, who usually doesn't like extra fees. Ijin says that someone from the camp did help, which confuses them for a moment, but then they realize what he did, and they all smile. After the grandpa gets off work and wishes good luck to his co-worker, he notices Ijin standing at the gate and asks what he is doing here. Ijin explains that he just finished training the same time he got off work, so he decided to go home with him today. The grandpa notes that he must be tired. He should have gone home and rested, but Ijin is fine. He is probably more tired than he is anyway. While walking, the grandpa says that Dayun has been more cheerful lately. In the past, she seemed a little gloomy sometimes. She got better after he came back to them. Ijin says that it's a relief, and the grandpa also asks how he's doing these days. Is he getting along with his friends? Ijin confirms that he is, and the grandpa asks how his bodyguard training is going too. Ijin explains that the adults are taking care of him, and the training is going well. The grandpa suddenly tells him that he's grateful to him, as it must have been difficult to adjust to living here, but he's doing very well. Because he is constantly working, he cannot help but adjust to this place. This has been bugging him as of late. Ijin is confused and tells him that he is helping, which the grandpa doesn't remember doing. Ijin says that just being next to him is already a huge help for him. He also thinks that coming back here was a good decision, as he got to enjoy the simple things in life. The grandpa tears up and turns away, excusing his behavior as something getting in his eyes, but also asking if he can call the friends he mentioned before. He wants to meet them, at least once. Ijin is surprised that he really wants to meet his colleagues. The grandpa notes that they helped him a lot the other day, but he could not greet them properly, so he would like to get the chance to. Ijin doesn't know what to say, but he can't really refuse him as it's his grandpa who asked. Thank you for watching. See you next time.